Well, we're here in the Clayton Silver Springs Hotel in Tivoli in Cork City, and we are delighted to welcome Foster and Allen to Hot Country. That's Tony Allen and Mick Foster. Of course, they're embarking on their 50th anniversary tour of Ireland, starting in a couple of weeks' time. Tony, can you remember the first ever gig you did as Foster and Allen?
First gig we did as Foster and Allen was in the Prince of Wales in Kilburn in London. Kilburn, what was it called?
Kilburn Park.
Kilburn Park, yeah, in London. A friend of ours, Paddy Callan, we just played for him with the Night Runners at his venue in Brixton, and the band came home and he asked Mick and myself to stay back and do a week. We did a full week, every night of the week for him in Kilburn, and it was a brilliant week. And Mick Foster got his way that day because he had been about 7 years trying to convince me that we should be a two-piece, not a five-piece. And from there on, it worked very well. 50 years ago.
And a big crowd.
Oh, great night. The whole week was full, yeah.
And Mick, you were telling me some years ago that you also did a night in Limerick. Was it a Christmas Eve or a Christmas Day in Limerick, and there wasn't that many there?
It was Christmas Eve, and we never did a Christmas Eve since. And there was 12 people in the pub. It was half up the main street in Limerick. If you came in from Nina, it was halfway up on the right-hand side. I can't remember the name of it, but
I don't want to remember.
There was 12 people, so we got them up around the stage, and we had a great kind of a sing-along with them all joining in. But needless to say, we hadn't no much money going home.
And how long ago was that?
That would be back probably 49 years ago.
Early 70s, yeah.
Right.
Probably 49 years ago.
And your very, very first recording as Foster and Allen, can you tell us about that?
First recording was Mick singing The Rambles of Spring, a Tommy Makem song. It did very, very well for us. We got an awful lot of radio play. In fact, we got an awful lot of work out of it as well. It didn't chart or anything like that, but I don't suppose it was released for the charts, but yeah, a great song. We still do it, still open the show with it every night, The Rambles of Spring, yeah.
And then, of course, down through the years, you've made many great appearances all over the world, and Top of the Pops would be one of your big ones also.
Yeah, well, Top of the Pops for me was the highlight of the whole 50 years. Maybe not for Mick, but Keeley House would have probably suited him better. But no, it was great. It was great to be on Top of the Pops. 1982, yeah. We were on there with the Boomtown Rats and the Nolans, Dexy's Midnight Runners, the Goombay Dance Band, Adam and the Ants. Brilliant night.
And what song did you perform that night?
We did a bunch of time. That was in the British charts at number 18 that week.
And of course, you've played all over the world since then, America, Africa, New Zealand, Australia. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was probably South Africa was, I suppose, the unique country of all the rest of them. I enjoyed it big time, but I mean, we did Australia 20 times, New Zealand 15, numerous times to South Africa and Canada, and we did a few stints in the early 80s in America, but we never had any record success in America, so we were just another Irish band going over, so there was more money to be made at home.
And tell us about the latest tour you're going to embark on, celebrating 50 years. Tell us about that great tour now.
50 years. We start on the 27th of December in the Gravel Arms in Mullingar, and we work our way around. We finish up in Scotland the end of April. We do all of Ireland, north and south, and we do, as I said, Scotland and a piece north of England. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, and we have a new album to celebrate the 50 years. It's called 50 of 50.
You do this tour kind of every year, don't you?
We do. We normally do a little bit in the UK in November, and then we semi-relax except for radio and television and you and stuff like that. And then the 27th of December we start. Right. And we don't touch New Year's Eve or New Year's night ever. In case it had been the equivalent of Limerick Christmas Eve.
Right.
So we were playing the 27th, 28th, Mullingar the 27th, 28th were in Roscommon, the 30th were in Trim, and then we don't play again until the 5th of January in Carlow. And that's as much as I can remember at the present minute.
Well, we work our way around, and we do. We play here, actually, in this nice hotel.
Yes, great hotel here.
In March, and we do in January. We do the Shamrock Lodge in Athlone. We do the Opera House in Belfast. We do the as I said before, north and south. You know.
And you've also released a great new single that Derek Ryan wrote, and he also features in the single.
Yeah, it's called The Good Old Days. A great song. Derek and Ray McLaughlin wrote it, and we recorded it about 3 years ago, and it's only been released now. It's going to be on the new album for the 50 years, and the video and all is out at the moment. So hopefully that will be definitely appearing on your show.
But Derek is a great songwriter.
Derek's a brilliant songwriter. I think Derek wrote probably the biggest song that's been in Ireland for a long time, The Way I Am, for the Paddies, Tumbling Paddies. You know.
So, what's next for Foster and Allen when this tour is over? What's the next thing that Foster and Allen are going to?
Well, I suppose we'll relax for a while and try and come to after. You know, there's a lot of miles on our clock. You know, so we have to space ourselves and pace ourselves, shall we say? You know, there was a time and we walked around of the year, but unfortunately we're not able to do that anymore. So we'll relax for the summer and see what happens, and we'll be ready to go again next November.
Foster and Allen are hugely successful and continue to be. What do you attribute that success to?
Well, I suppose I always had this saying, rightly or wrongly, that you know, we're kind of unique. If you think back to 50 plus years ago, there was nobody like us, and then we came on, and if you look back now, since we started, there's nobody following us, so like, we're a kind of a freak show, I suppose, and that's it.
It's a freak show.
And very reliable people going in to see too, isn't there? Reliable
great audience.
fans, great audience.
Brilliant audience. I mean, our audience are probably the best audience you've come across, because they'll come in, sit down, listen to the show, get up and go home. You know, if you meet them, they'll sit down and chat to you, but they don't want you to, you know, they really are good, and they've been loyal for the last 50 years.
And I've always said myself, and I've seen the Foster and Allen show many times, it's one of the best shows in the country. It's one of the best, I think. And you know, once you're in there, it's a mighty show, and you won't forget it. You'll go back to see it again over and over and over. Yeah, and I think that's a success of it.
We have a lot of practice.
We've been very lucky that we've had a lot of single hits, and we've had an album in the charts nearly every year since we started. So there's an awful lot of material to work from, you know.
And a few stories there that you're telling me are great stories.
You know, and most of them are the truth. You know, they might be stretched a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, we don't be telling anything that we can't stand up for, you know, or stand up with. A lot of the stories, you know, we would have lived through them.
Right, and once again, for viewers who are not familiar with Foster and Allen, how can they follow you?
Well, you get Foster and Allen Facebook or fosterandallen.ie, either of those two.
And they get all the information there.
Anything they want there will be on. Definitely on fosterandallen.ie.
Mick, what is your advice to new artists starting up?
I suppose whatever music you're doing, stick with it, and you know, become as good as you can at what you're doing, but don't start just because something else maybe in front of you is the order of the day. Don't run after it, because if you do, again you catch them, they're going on. You know, if you stand your ground and do what you're doing well, the wheel will come round to you.
And Tony, what's your advice?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to listen. Always listen to what's going on. You know, if somebody's doing something, keep an eye on it. But do, as Mick says, do your own thing, but listen to other people as well. If someone has advice for you, don't be afraid to take it on board. You don't have to go with it or agree with it.
You don't have to, you know, you don't have to copy anyone, but there's no harm to lift a page out of someone else's book, you know.
Right. Well, listen, Mick Foster and Tony Allen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Hot Country, and continued success to you. I'm sure we'll be meeting again in the not too distant future.
I hope so.
Thanks, Hugh.
Take care.